How dare you, Fiona? What was that stunt you just pulled? How could you splash red wine all over me like that? Do you have any idea how much this dress cost me? I bought it specially for this wedding.
Ugh, please save your whining for someone who cares. You're nothing but a nuisance to me. You always ruin everything with your presence. So, I decided to give you a little makeover. You don't belong here anyway.
What do you mean I don't belong here? I'm here because you asked me to be here, remember? You sent me a text in the middle of the ceremony, telling me to get you some cigarettes. And I did. I drove all the way to the nearest convenience store and back.
Well, you shouldn't have come back so soon. I was hoping you would get lost on the way.
Are you kidding me? You're the one who always nags me to hurry up and do what you want. And besides, today is a very special day. It's the wedding of our CEO. I didn't want to miss any of it, so I rushed to get you those cigarettes.
And do you know why I wanted you to miss some of it? Because I wanted to get rid of you for the bouquet toss. But now that you're back, you ruined my plan.
The bouquet toss? Is that what this is all about? You're seriously trying to catch the bouquet today?
Of course I am. I'm turning 34 this year. And I don't want to end up as a spinster. I need to find a husband as soon as possible. And that's why today I'm determined to catch the bouquet. And not just any bouquet, the one thrown by the CEO's wife herself. That will surely bring me good luck in love this year.
And that's why you had to ruin my dress?
Yes, because this is a very important day for me. This is the wedding of my boss. And everyone who matters is here. All the colleagues, all the clients, and all the young and handsome CEOs from other companies. I want to impress them all by catching that bouquet in front of them.
So that's your goal, huh?
The one I have my eye on is the young CEO of Green Life, the company we just partnered with. The first time I saw him at the office, I felt butterflies in my stomach. I knew I had to make him mine.
What? Mary?
Yes, that's why today, after I catch that bouquet, I'll make my move on him. I'm sure he'll notice me. And then I'll flirt with him and charm him. Once he talks to me, he'll fall for me. And since I'm a mature and confident woman, he'll be happy to marry me.
So that's why you're trying to eliminate the competition. But I'm sorry to tell you, you won't get away with this. If you wanted me out of the bouquet toss, you should have talked to me like an adult.
Shut up, you pathetic woman. Ever since this wedding started, I knew you were in trouble. Even though you're below me in the company, you act like you're better than me. But I won't let you steal that young CEO from me.
What on earth are you talking about?
I've been watching that young man all day. He's been glancing at me a lot. I thought he was into me. But then I realized he was looking at you.
Really? I didn't notice him at all.
That's because you're too innocent and clueless. You can't do anything right. Even when I ask you to do me a favor. You went to get me some cigarettes, but you came back too soon. If you dare steal my man from me, I'll cut your salary.
What? You can't do that. And I'm not interested in that man.
Then, if you want to prove it, get out of here. You're a mess with all that red wine all over you. You're spoiling the mood of this wedding. A worthless girl like you should go home. Nobody will miss you.
How can you say that, you old witch?
What?
Oops, I guess I slipped out a bad word. But I'm so angry at you. I've had enough of your attitude. You've been treating me like dirt. And today, of all days, you crossed the line. How dare you try to kick me out of my own dad's wedding?
What? Your own dad?
Yes, this is the wedding of the CEO of the company I work for. But he's also my dad. I've been waiting for this day for so long. But you ruined it for me.
What? Wait a minute. What do you mean by your dad's wedding? Are you telling me you're the CEO's daughter?
Yes, I'm his real daughter. My mom died giving birth to me. And since then, my dad raised me by himself. He worked hard to run this company and take care of me. And finally, he found someone else to love. And as his only child, I wanted to be happy for him. But you, Fiona, you destroyed everything.
You're lying, right? I never knew you were the CEO's daughter.
Well, my dad told a lot of the top-level people to never say anything about it and just let me do my job like everything else. After all, being known as the daughter of the CEO would have created a lot of unnecessary stress. So, from a young age, it was made sure that I was raised with the best education. But I made sure that all I wanted was a job working here and to be treated the same as everyone else for the time being.
Are you serious then?
So I please ask that even though you know about me being his daughter, now that you keep it a secret from everyone else. If you can do that for me, then I'll keep you spilling wine all over me a secret between us.
Wait, really?
Don't get the wrong idea about this, okay? This is all to make sure that my dad's wedding is not ruined today. If everyone had to learn that the daughter of the CEO had wine intentionally spilled all over her, it would make this one of the worst days of my dad's life.
Well,
All I have to do is get myself into a new dress. Now, I'm going to get myself a new dress to change into. And since that will take me some time, I won't be able to take part in the bouquet toss. So go on ahead and try with all your might to grab that bouquet.
Hey, Laurel. How about we go for lunch today? I have a place in mind that I really want to try.
What? Why are you asking me that? You never invited me to lunch before. And what happened to calling me a useless subordinate?
Don't be silly. When did I ever call you that? Laurel, I would never insult someone as valuable as my coworker.
What?
Well, just let me know when you're done with your work this morning and we can go together. But I hope you don't mind the restaurant I picked. It's just a regular place that everyone goes to for lunch. It might not be suitable for the CEO's daughter.
What are you up to? If you're trying to suck up to me now, it's too late. You can't erase everything you did to me before with one lunch.
What? I'm not sucking up to you. I just want to spend some quality time with you since I'm your boss.
Well, then forget it. I'm not interested. And besides, I'm already having my lunch right now.
What? Really? Then I'll just grab my lunch and join you. Where are you eating?
No thanks. I don't want you here.
Well, if you're going to be so rude, I'll tell you the truth. I actually need to talk to you about something. I have a little problem that's bothering me, and I can't concentrate on my work. And I thought you, as a wonderful subordinate, could help me out.
You have a problem?
If I'm not able to do my best with my work here by focusing on my tasks at hand, then this company could run into some problems as well, right? And that would lead to your daddy becoming very sad about the state of his company. As the daughter of the CEO and being my subordinate, I'd like for you to listen to me.
Well, if that's all you want, then tell me right now. Because I am not interested in having lunch together with you.
Come on. You're being too stubborn, Laurel. I'm just asking for you to hear me out about a couple of things. But if you say you'll listen right now, I guess that'll do. What I want to ask from you is that you become my Cupid to help me with my love.
Huh? And what does that mean?
I'd like for you to help me become even closer with the young CEO of Green Life. I ended up never catching that bouquet at the wedding last week, so I never had a chance to get close to him then. But if it were to happen that the daughter of this company's CEO became a friend of mine, then I might have a chance. So to make sure that he and I can become a couple, come and help me. At the wedding for your dad last week, he and that young CEO seemed to get along with one another really well. So there's no way, as his daughter, you can't help me get closer to that guy. So I'd like to ask that using your influence, you help introduce me to a man like him. And in that way, you'll be helping me get married to him.
Well, Fiona, I will not help you in any way with that.
What?
If you had some issue related to work, I wouldn't mind helping. But I have no interest in your private life. You are free to be upset about whatever it is that happens at home. But when you are in the office, you should be focused on your work at hand.
Hey, hold on, Laurel. What do you think you're doing? Saying no to your boss's request?
With what you had just been asking from me, there was no relation to us being boss and subordinate.
Huh? You stop right there. I am asking for your hand in all of this, so don't think you can talk back to me. I don't care that you are the CEO's daughter. You cannot speak to me that way.
I'm not acting this way because I'm his daughter, though.
You are! You are acting like a stuck-up jerk right now because of your status. Listen, even if you are the daughter of the man who runs this company, you are still my subordinate, and I can ask what I want from you. And I'm sure you understand that you must always do what your boss asks of you. If you don't want me to go back to the days of me calling you useless, then you'd better listen to me. I want you to use your influence as the CEO's daughter to make sure that I meet the love of my life and marry him.
Even if she were to show you to me, I'd never go out with someone like you.
Huh?
I wonder who is really abusing their status right now. You're the one using your position as boss to ask your subordinate to help you with a personal issue outside the company. As her older brother, I will not let you keep doing this to Laurel.
Older brother? Huh? You're Laurel's older brother then? In other words, you're the son of the CEO then? But Laurel said she was an only child.
I am also the CEO of Green Life, Luis. Thank you so much for attending my father's wedding last week. And I also want to thank you for looking after my sister as she began working within that company.
What? So you're the young CEO from Green Life?
And for whatever reason, I can see that you're really interested in me. But I'm sorry, I will never be going out with you in any way.
Huh?
I'm not really fond of people who call my sister a useless subordinate, as well as doing other unjust things as she's trying to get her work done.
Wait a minute. Louis, I think you misunderstood. That was just me talking to her on a more personal level. To me, Laurel is a very important subordinate, so I had to keep her in line.
Huh? So you spoke to her like that on a personal level then? Oh, so...
You and I have never had the chance to talk to one another in person yet, have we? So please don't say you're not fond of me until you see who I really am. I'm sure that if you and I went out to eat together, you'd learn to take back what you said.
You have a lot of confidence in yourself, don't you?
I've been told a lot that I'm a really good-looking woman for being in my 30s. And so I'm sure that someone as young and fit as you would fall in love with me as well. And also, during your dad's wedding last week, you were looking at me over and over again, right? I know that you felt a little something for me back then, didn't you?
Back then, I was not looking at you. All those times, I was just looking at my younger sister. So don't think I had any feelings for you back then, huh? I happened to talk with my sister about her job quite a lot. She always comes to me asking for help with things like the relationship she has with you, always telling me things aren't going well. And about you calling her useless, that you gave her crappy jobs to work on, and when she would help you finish a project, you would end up blaming her for any mistakes that there might have been. You really do check out as the type of woman with that toxic attitude.
That'll never happen between us. I believe that Laurel is just a little confused about things here. I'm not the kind of boss to bully any of my subordinates like that, Louis.
Well, if that happens to be the case, I'd like for you to stop thinking about dating me, and to never bother my sister with anything besides work ever again. And when it comes to the work you give her, make sure it's the work she's supposed to do and nothing else. Now, I'll be going. I just finished having a great lunch with Laurel, and I have to get back to business myself.
Wait, what have you done? Ugh, you stupid rat. Now it looks like that young man hates me. And why did you have to tell him about all the relationships we had in the past?
I didn't do anything wrong, though. I just happened to ask for his advice when dealing with you. And it's the truth that you always call me useless and would always get upset with me for mistakes I made doing your own job.
Shut up already. You're still my subordinate, and you have no right talking back to me like that. All right, go and talk to him about how you messed up and lied about what you said about me. Tell him that I'm an amazing boss and woman, so that he'll start to like me again. If you don't do that, then I'll have you fired.
Huh? Fire me?
It doesn't matter if you're the daughter of the CEO or not. After all, nobody else knows that about you anyway. And so when you're someone that everyone couldn't care less about, being fired is not a big deal. And if you're so upset about the way I've been treating you, allow me to end it all for you.
I have to ask, how many people have you fired already for not doing as you liked? I'm sorry, Fiona, but you're not going to be able to get away with that anymore.
Huh?
I've already heard about this stuff from other employees, about how anyone that works under you always gets fired or quits within a couple of months of being your subordinate. But with the company becoming more interested in what's going on with your department, your best bet is to run.
What are you even talking about? Don't act as though I have some sort of pleasure in firing those that work for me.
But that could be just the case, right? You always try and force people to make mistakes and then criticize the hell out of them for it. And so when you've had enough picking on them, you end up firing them and moving on to the next victim, right? And if you try and dig your way out of this one, I've made sure to collect all the evidence I need.
What evidence?
When talking further with some of these other coworkers and employees, they made sure to tell me everything about what's been going on with you. But I am not going to forgive you for being compliant with my dad's company. Hence the reason I always put up with the way you called me names and forced me into tough positions. And after doing that for a while now, I was able to get all I needed to make sure that you never get away with it again.
But what kind of evidence could you have? You've already made the choice to be fired by me, so nobody in the higher-ups position will listen to you. And I'm sure that evidence isn't anything anyway.
Nobody has been fired or quit yet, so there's still lots of ears ready to listen. Oh, and did I tell you I spoke with those that you ended up firing before? They all gave me lots of juicy evidence when it comes to things you did to them.
What did you say?
I can't believe I was able to get all this evidence on you, because I'm sure with the way things were going between you and me, you would really have ruined the image of this company. So I've now come to the conclusion that the only way to end all this within your department is to have you fired.
Wait a minute. Laurel? What do you mean, have me fired? I'm one of the big players within this company. I'm the one who puts in the effort for a lot of sales and everything that has to do with selling to customers.
But you always end up handing off your work to your subordinates. So perhaps they were the ones really making things work for the company. And all I've gathered is evidence I'll bring to HR and have them think about you. And of course, I'll also be letting my dad know about this as well. I'll even make sure to ask him to have you let go of as soon as possible.
You're lying, right?
You know very well that all the things you've been doing within the company were not okay. So please hurry up and start preparing your things in that office for when the time comes. You have to leave. I'm sure that by next week, the decision will be made.
You can't just do this to me. Why do I have to be the one to leave this company? All I did was get rid of the subordinates that I couldn't use. Actually, if anything, it's because of them always making mistakes that I had to put in more work to correct them all. You should be thankful that I did all of that.
You really are self-centered about everything. Even after being exposed like this, you're trying to make it seem as though you did the right thing all those times. I might have to show my brother all of this evidence as well later on.
Huh?
I'm assuming that this will all require you to step into my dad's office at some point to explain yourself. So enjoy that time with him one-on-one and say whatever reasons you'd like. That would be the perfect chance for you to ask if you can marry his son. I'm sure that would be your last chance to get closer to my brother.
You think that I could talk about your brother like that now?
Well, I'm going to get back to work now. I assume that I'll have a lot more work to do now that you've lost even more focus. And I still have a bunch of your work from this morning to finish. I was able to have a delicious lunch with my brother at least, so maybe that'll help me make fewer mistakes. No sooner had she spilled the wine on me than Fiona was summoned to my dad's office, where he gave her the ultimatum. Pack your things and get out of here. You're fired. She begged and pleaded, but he was adamant. He told her to come back the next week when the company would make its final decision. She hoped for a miracle, but it never came. The following week, she returned to the office, sobbing and sniffling. She had to face the wrath of the board of directors, who grilled her about her actions and performance. She tried to defend herself, but it was useless. They had already made up their minds. She was done. But then, in a desperate attempt to save her job, she did something unexpected. She praised me. She told them that I was the most amazing subordinate she'd ever had, that I was loyal, hardworking, and talented, that she was honored to be my boss, and that she wanted to keep working with me. She asked them to reconsider, for my sake. My dad told me later what happened. He said that he and the others were stunned by her sudden change of tone. They agreed with her that I was a great employee, but they didn't buy her sincerity. They thought she was just trying to manipulate them. They told her that they appreciated her compliments, but they still had to fire her. She had to leave the office for good and never come back. But that was not the end of her troubles. She soon found out that all the employees she had fired before had filed a lawsuit against her. They accused her of wrongful termination, harassment, and discrimination. They demanded compensation and justice. She had to face them in court, one by one, and pay for her sins. Now, Fiona is living a nightmare. She has to go from hearing to hearing, losing case after case, paying fine after fine. She has no job, no money, no friends. She has nothing left. She has only herself to blame.